Hi everyone, back today with another video. So this is a gold video, a new one. Hooray, something new. So this one is about the cloth farm in Undermine. So this is a group farm. You could do it solo, but really it wouldn't be worthwhile. You want to do this as a group. It's really easy to find if you just open the group finder and go into the pre-made groups and look for the Undermine cloth farm. When I went looking for it, I found 4 or 5 different farms, and I just listed for all of them and waited to be accepted. It might be a little bit better for me, just in the sense that I'm a healer, but also a ranged DPS, so that might give me more of a boost. But I did find when I was doing this, it was easier in groups that had like a plate wearer to kind of take the brunt of all of the things the ranged were bringing to it. So I don't think it excludes people who are melee, but I think it definitely gave me a bit of a head start being cloth, being ranged. So this cloth farm made a lot more gold than I thought it was going to. I was expecting it to be somewhere around the 15,000, 20,000 gold range, and it just blew that out of the water. It is much more than that. If you have a tailor, definitely go and get yourself signed up to this farm. Even if you don't enjoy group farms all that much, you could do this farm for 4 hours and pay for your subscription, at least on my server. So we'll get into exactly how much I made. And like I just said, it was more than 20,000 gold an hour. The raw gold for this farm, just the raw gold, what you pick up from mobs and the vendor trash, was almost 4,000 gold for 1 hour. Just the gold I was picking up off the mobs. So that's before we're even counting what the weaver cloth is doing and the BOEs, which are they do list for an insane amount of gold. I don't know if those will sell. I can't say if they will sell or not, but together the BOEs ended up listing for around 44,000 gold, just the BOEs. So that there is a lot of gold to be made from this farm, and I don't think I can say it enough. If you're a tailorer or an inscriptionist potentially there, I've seen a couple of people within my group doing both, or if you're just looking to do a BOE farm, if you're on a server that's got a lot of people, you could potentially make a lot of gold with this BOE farm, especially initially. This is one of those things that are going to die down. The value of this farm is going to die down. The biggest thing for the BOEs with this is that they're in the 600 range in terms of eye level. And this is really massive. Being bind on equip and level 600, that's better than what we were getting for level 8 delves. Just from completing that, this is happening so much faster. You can just buy it off the auction house. So it's probably in preparation of getting people geared up for the next wave of this season. But for the moment, it's incredibly lucrative. In terms of the weaver cloth I collected for this 1 hour farm, it was just under 22,000 gold, and I'm confident that will all sell. There's not a doubt in my mind I'm making 22,000 gold from that weaver cloth. So there is a lot of gold to be made. I think some of those BOAs will sell. I just don't know whether or not it really will turn out to be 44,000 gold or not. I've just listed them today, so I can't really give you a result for that yet. I could have waited before sharing this farm with you, but I think that the amount of gold to be made here will die off. Some of those BOEs will sell. I just don't know if it'll be all of them. I can understand if you're not going to watch the rest of this video because this is very exciting. But before you go, if you could just give this video a like or a comment, that would be super helpful. Enjoy your gold farm. For everybody else who's staying on, this is just in the top corner of the new Undermine area. If you unlock it, there is a portal. So if you do the campaign, there is a portal that'll get you to Undermine from the Isle of Dawn, but otherwise you can just fly there. It does take a little bit longer, and what I tried to do was get to the cloth farm before I signed myself up, or be in Undermine when I listed myself for those groups to join, and that was just really effective because it got me started pretty much right away. So you can see here the group setup we're bringing all of the mobs back to the skull, which is where whoever is our tank is standing. You can see here it's a DPS, but they're plate and they're able to take the mobs off us. They don't hit that hard. You could do this without a plate DPS. It's just much faster if you have one. You run up the pier or you run to where X is. You can see here there are 2 directions. four people makes this really easy. So you should be able to have somebody, preferably the plate wearer, stay in the middle while everybody else brings the mobs to them. And when you bring the mobs in, you just loot as you go. You can see here my group finished up halfway through, and I very quickly found another one. So this is very popular. It's very easy. So signing up for these is not very difficult. But the thing is, when something is this popular, the prices for this will go down pretty quickly. So with the previous cloth farms we've had in just season one, they were really very lucrative in the very beginning. And even once the excitement for the BOEs wore off, you could still do those cloth farms and make something like 25,000 gold per hour just on the weaver cloth. I will say, when those farms were making that much gold, weaver cloth was more valuable than it is at present. I think we are going to see a spike when season two comes out, because at the moment this is kind of like pre-season two. So all of the options season two has available won't necessarily be something we can engage with right now. So people are looking more into some of the other content. But once those raid tiers really start coming through, people will be paying attention to that, and that will mean less of the cloth is coming into the market. So the value should go up. There will also be more people doing season two mythics, season two delves, and heroics. So there's a bunch of people who would prefer to do that type of content over these gold farms. I'm very excited to do the new content, the delves, the mythics, and the raids. I'm going to give mythics a go. My guild has finally convinced me to give that a go as a healer, so I'm going to give that a go. And I'm very excited for all of that, but I'm not the only person who's going to be giving less attention to this gold farm. So I think that the cloth element, the region element of it, will remain lucrative for a little bit. The BOEs will continue to have value in the sense of some of them are just like 150 gold just a vendor, as an example. So there is gold to be made there. I did try to disenchant some of them, and the gold value was almost identical. In fact, it was just a tiny bit down for disenchanting. So it really depends on the luck of what you get, whether or not you get three of the storm dust and what quality you get out of it. So there will still be gold to be made, and if the value of storm dust goes up, it could be a valuable enchanting farm. But I think there are a lot of creative ways this farm could make people gold. And so I've condensed this farm into a little over 7 minutes for you guys to see. I spent an hour doing this, and I've just squished it into 7 minutes, so you guys get a feel for how much you're getting out of this content doing this farm while you're here. I'm going to go take it to the auction house, and I'm going to list it there so you can get a feel for the prices. You will notice I didn't put some of it on the auction house. I kept the bolts for myself. I'm a tailor. I make a lot of gold off making the pioneer gear and the accessories and the weaver cloth bags. So I will make more gold on those bolts, making those things and being patient with them. You can just put it all on the auction house. But if you're a tailor, and you would be if you're collecting the cloth, definitely consider making the pioneer gear or the accessories. When I say the pioneer gear, I mean the level 71 pioneer gear, or the accessories for professions, because they do make up like a really constant amount of gold. And you can almost make double, sometimes even triple off the cost it costs to make it. So it's definitely a good idea to consider keeping some of those bolts to just maximize the profits. I have gone and reset my tailoring and enchanting specs. For anybody who's watched those videos where I talk about what I would change if I could, I thought I'd have to wait until the 4th to be able to access the ability to change that, and somebody pointed out that I could go do it now. And I have gone and done it, and it's already helping my concentration builds. So check out those videos if you're considering swapping yours, and think about some of the things I've said there if you're unsure about what to do. But it has already drastically improved the profit I'm making. I was able to fix some of the errors I made early on, not understanding how the profession system worked. And I've been able to prioritize the concentration builds, at least for me. That's where I'm making gold. So I prioritize concentration build, and then my secondary prioritization is getting materials back when I'm making things. So feel free to check out those videos. I have one for enchanting and one for tailoring, because I only have the one character. I just wanted to take a quick moment to give a shout out to my members. Thank you so much for supporting me. So a special thanks to Psycho Teddy, Brit Malaka, and Heretic666. You guys are amazing. Everybody else, if you're interested in getting this content early like my members do, look at the link in the description. Otherwise, you'll get to see this video when it comes out for everybody. If you found this helpful, drop a like or a comment. And as always, remember, girls don't play WoW.